with Kathy Duva minutes after the Kovalev award press conference. What did you think about the press conference? I know it wasn't going to be one show this time.
Yeah, I think everybody knows this is serious now. It finally got real. I'm pretty excited about that because we've been working on this since literally a year ago. That's when the negotiations started in September of last year. So, two obviously very serious, very talented, top level elite fighters about to fight each other, both with undefeated records. I don't think it gets any better than this.
How excited are you that this fight is going to happen in Las Vegas? What does that mean for the fight fans?
This is a better fight. This is a pick'em fight. This doesn't happen very often at this level. So for a lot of reasons, I think this fight belongs in Vegas. It also belongs there because, all of the biggest fights that happen generally land there. There's a reason for that. And so that's where you want to be. It's the top. So we're really thrilled.
What do you think this says about you as a promoter? The fact that you're willing to put your golden goose in there with another golden goose. I mean, whoever loses this fight is going to be pretty unhappy as far as the promotional team and everything. What does that say about you as a promoter?
I don't know what it says about me as a promoter. I learned about promotion from my late husband. Back then, the goal was to put the best fighter in with the best fighter. Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, Duran, they didn't give it a moment's thought, I might lose. It didn't diminish their careers when they fought each other. It made them bigger. Holyfield, Tyson, Lewis, Bo, same situation. In fact, the one guy who hesitated was Riddick Bowe. He was the guy who didn't take the fight. He is the least of those four at this moment, and that's the reason why.
This fight reminds me a little bit of the Hopkins fight. It was a really big risk against the guy who doesn't really get KO'd and has just unraveled so many careers in the past.
Again, Sergey wanted that Hopkins fight then because he wanted to prove he was the best, because he wanted all the titles, and Bernard had two of them. And that was the route. Right now, the route to the top is through Andre Ward, to be a pay-per-view fighter, to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, to become that next guy that people are going to come out with and spend willingly, happily spend their pay-per-view dollars because they know they're going to be entertained. He is the most dynamic, electrifying fighter in the sport, as far as I'm concerned, or certainly one of the two or three most. And this is what needs to be done. He wants to test his skill against the best. Andre Ward is the best in his division, and so this fight's happening. This is a reason to get excited, and this idea, again, that, you might not win. To me, this is irrelevant. The fact that you dared greatly, the fact, as Teddy Roosevelt said, the fact that you tried makes you greater. And so when this fight's over, no matter who wins or loses, they're both going to still be two great fighters.
We just discussed the Hopkins fight. Do you think this is going to look a lot like the Hopkins fight, where Sergey did try to knock him out? He used a lot of feints, good jabs, and kind of lured Hopkins out of his defensive shell, which Andre Ward fights. And it really kind of looks like the young Bernard Hopkins in that fight.
It's interesting. John David Jackson today was asked that question, and he's much better to comment on this than me, but he said he doesn't necessarily agree with that totally. The thing about Sergey is I have never seen him fight the same way twice. Think about it. He didn't fight Bernard Hopkins anything like he fought the people who preceded him. Look at Ismail Salak. At the end of the first round, he just walked across the ring and knocked him out. Sergey basically looks at his opposition, decides what he's going to do, figures him out, and then does it. So whatever Ward brings, it'll definitely be a tougher puzzle to figure out, perhaps, than anyone other than possibly Hopkins. He is younger. He does have that going for him. But again, Hopkins is not sort of supernatural in some respects. I'm not sure that I would think of him as a man in his 40s. So whatever it is. But, is it the same as Hopkins? Will he have the same respect for him that he had for Hopkins at that stage in his career? I don't know if he will. But again, that's the point. I think as somebody said, Peter Nelson said today, if you think you know what's going to happen in this fight, then you're just a liar. And so I just want to this is one of those times when we go through all this stress and all this work, and then when the fight starts, I get to sit back and watch too, just like a fan, and I'm looking forward to that.
Do you think this is the peak? I mean, a lot of people consider Andre Ward part of the Adonis Stevenson. I know you hate to look next in the past, but is that even on your mind?
There's lots of things in the back of my mind because that's my job, but we won't talk about them yet. And as far as peak, an athlete reaches his peak when he's done trying. I can't tell you where Sergey's going to be when this fight's over, but I think I know him well enough to know he's going to want to keep trying.
We appreciate your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.